All right, here we go. So active versus dormant. So here what I have is the 52 touch checklist. Now, this is the checklist that I recommend. You are more than welcome to change whatever is better for your business or something you're going to do, but you need to have something. And there is no drawback to having a higher number of touches or a higher number of contacts. Just don't go less than that. All right. So very simply, we put newsletter, you send it to your top 50, 12 times a year. 4 quarterly home estimates. This is one that I want to go ahead and really harp on. Okay, the 4 quarterly home estimates right here. If you're not providing this, they're getting that from somewhere. This is usually the #1 indicator of them becoming active. Now, I've got Zach London on tonight's call here. Zach is with Mono Mortgage, and one of the things we can do is provide you with a home value estimate for anybody in your database, any lead that you have, any listing you're going on, any buyer you're representing, and they want to make an offer on a house, and you just want to have an idea of where that offer is coming in, the comps that it has. Use that resource. We'll be able to get that information to you, get that home value estimate for that property address. Just give us the full address. We'll get that report back to you so you can actually not waste your time trying to, #1, go find comps on the MLS. And #2, it comes in a really nice format so you can share that with your buyer or seller, making you not only be the professional, but be the authority on that. These 4 quarterly home value estimates is what also allows people to start planting the seeds of, hey, if we're making a move, because most people, if they're selling their home, oftentimes it's not an emergency. Like, it doesn't come up next day that they need to sell. They start planning on it, they start thinking about it, and they move from there. Okay. So home purchase anniversary card, you can email that to them. All right. Or you can send a physical card. I would recommend sending a physical card to your top 50. The email going out can go to the entire database. That's not a big thing. In fact, in KVCORE, we have it where you can actually put in the date of the home purchase anniversary and it'll automatically send it out. Happy birthday and also half birthday. We talked about this concept of sending a birthday card, sending a birthday text, or even a video email message. But the half birthday is the one that's quite often ignored. So whatever their birthday is, just come back 6 months, right? So my half birthday is coming up February 8th. That's my half birthday. It's 6 months before my actual birthday. But I'll guarantee you that if you want a high conversion rate or a high response rate, you send them a happy half birthday text message, video, email, or a birthday card, because it's definitely something that nobody else is doing out there. Again, the whole point in 2023 is for you to increase your conversions, increase your contacts, and make sure you're doing enough. Quarterly calls. Every quarter, you should be calling everybody in your database. Every quarter, it means every 90 days. That means from January 1st till March 31st, anybody who you have in your database, you should be able to reach out to them by phone. Now, here's the reason why. #1, how do you expect to have an active person in your database if you haven't called them, or you don't have their phone number, or you don't talk to them? I've never seen anyone that's been in my database that I could go ahead and do business with if I've never talked to them or don't have their phone number. So quarterly calls, I would definitely make sure you're doing 1 call to everybody in your database every quarter, if not, maybe even more. A yearly event, this is the only one that I'll let you guys punt to further down the year, only because this one has planning and cost associated with it, and it should really be a celebration of success and more of a community gathering than anything else. It could be something as little as a appreciation event in the park, movie night, something you invite people to come to the zoo. You can even do it on a smaller scale. So if maybe you have your 10 top past clients and you invite them to a happy hour or anything like that. Monthly market report. We're going to touch on this tonight on the KVCORE. I stress this all the time. Major holiday text. There's 10 major holidays throughout the year. I would definitely tell you to go ahead and text them on that. We use an app called Hit 'em Up that is available in the Apple App Store. I'm actually going to put it in here. And you can actually text anybody in your phone, kind of a group text, but it looks like it's coming just one-on-one, right? And it's your number, it's your phone. I believe the app is free. It doesn't charge you anything. And then the other big thing that I would tell you is that you need to start doing your success story emails. Success story is any type of success you've had, whether it's a closing, whether it's a buyer you were showing property to, but they never went under contract or they decided not to buy, whatever it was. It's about a 3 to 5 sentence paragraph you put together. It's something that should go in your collateral kit when you're meeting with someone that you're going to list their property. If you're meeting with a vendor, if you're meeting with a buyer, these success stories are the ones that are basically not, look, hey, how great we were. It was like, hey, here's the situation, right? So I'll give you a good one that we're going to write up as soon as we can help this couple buy their house. So this couple, I'm not going to use their name only because when we do these recordings and put them on YouTube, YouTube censors our video and doesn't let them be played if there's personal information. So this couple, husband and wife, they're actually past clients of mine who I have sold their home, purchased their home that they now live in, and now they're looking to upgrade. They have had more kids, so they need a bigger home, and they want to go from a 2-story to a 1-story. So what is the challenges that we have to overcome? First of all, we got to be able to find them a home that can have at least 5 bedrooms, because not only the kids, but also additional people that are going to be living with them. Number 2, it's got to be in the school district that they want. Again, we've got several kids. And number 3, it's got to be in their price range. Now, the other thing that's going to be a factor in this is that we have to be able to make an offer that's contingent on the sale of their property. So the seller has to be able to entertain that and accept that. Okay, so in 3 to 5 sentences, I did a story for you. So right now, where are we at in the success story? Right now, we're in the phase of finding this property and making offers. Okay, now once we actually go ahead and get it on a contract, the success story can now be finished. Say, hey, we got it under contract, we sold their home, boom. That right there will allow you to generate more leads because it's now becoming a personal story. Now, if you have a TikTok account, if you have an Instagram account or a Facebook account, I would go ahead and get out your phone, record a video of yourself reading this success story and putting it on your Instagram as a reel, your TikTok account, your Facebook page. If you've got a YouTube, go ahead and do that. And you can actually take the text and put it in there as a comment or part of the post as well. I will bet anybody on here that you'll get more views and traction on that than you did on just, hey, just listed, just sold. Are you looking for a realtor? You know, I want to help you serve all your needs. It doesn't connect with people as a success story does. And one of the reasons is because of the psychology in it, is it's real life. That's one of the reasons why these reality shows have become so popular, is because it's real life. It's not just made up, okay? So questions or comments on this before I move on?
You said the 300 times 6 is that, sorry about the 300 times, I just missed that part.
Yeah, so 300 means it's going to go out to your database of 300 people. I'm basing this on 300 PIM, right? And 6 means it's going out 6 times a year, right?
Okay.
So you're sending it out every 2 months. Now you can do it every month. That's totally okay too. You can email. Well, we said email because we want to keep the cost low on this. So you can email everyone. Now, is everybody going to read it? Probably not. Remember, if they're dormant, they don't really have a need right now. So the key with dormant is that when you send the success story up and you follow it up with this quarterly call up here, the quarterly call for someone who's dormant is, have you been receiving my success story emails and or videos? Okay, because you can always put a link to your TikTok or your Instagram or your Facebook or YouTube page in that email with the success story for them to watch it. And it doesn't matter whether they've seen it or not, because if they haven't seen it, it says, hey, great, I'll give you a quick synopsis of what it was. Married couple, had more kids, need to buy a house. Here's the reason why we share that story, because you're going to follow it up with this. Before I let you go, out of curiosity, have you heard from anybody that you know of, whether they're family, from work, from church, that is also looking to buy a bigger home? That's you're in for somebody who's dormant to get a referral lead. Now, how many referral leads do you need out of your database? How many referrals are you looking to get? So you guys can put it in the chat or unmute and tell me. How many referral leads do you want to get from people in your dormant database?
Like just the call or close actually process the whole way through?
No, just basically they're giving you a lead. We're not talking about transaction. They're giving you the lead.
I could easily expect one per closing at least.
Okay, so really what we're looking for is just one. Just get your first one, right? Because how many have you gotten so far this year? Or in the past 12 months, how many did you get? That's one thing you want to count, okay? Now, if you're newer or you're brand new, you don't have any, this is a perfect time to start talking about that. Now, let's say, Ali, I don't have any success stories. Borrow other people that are in your organization success stories. You can say our group, the GPS group, if you're part of the GPS group, here's one of their scenarios. They had husband and wife, boom, boom. Now, in the success stories, I will share their first names. It's just like, as I said, in this recording, we don't share first names only because I guess we can't, since YouTube flagged us on one of our past videos on there. But you would do that because that's what it's going to, number one, set you apart. Number two, it's going to make it personal for them to actually be able to kind of think of it in their mind, right? I want to share something that isn't very pleasant. Who knows of someone that had to battle cancer?
Oh, my listing appointment today, he's dying, he has cancer.
Very unfortunate situation, very sad. When you have somebody who's battling a disease like that, you know the story. You want to hear what the background is like, what happened, what's their treatment like, what impacts are happening. That's one of the reasons why we need to become good storytellers. And we talk about success story because success stories are ways that people will actually relate to others, as opposed to just telling them, hey, you know, the current stats in your neighborhood is that they're selling at 97% of list price. That doesn't, I mean, maybe if they're an engineer or accountant, that might do, but it's not a driver. What is a driver is like, yeah, I know so-and-so from church or work or my family that, yeah, they have a kid, or unfortunately in Lizette, your situation, you know, your seller has a health issue. They're going to have to sell, and here's how we're going to be able to help them so that they can actually be able to take one thing off their plate and have one less thing to worry about so they can focus on treatment, right? So that's where that success story comes in, not like, hey, just listed this house. It's like, here's the story with it. And if you become a really good storyteller, not only is that going to help you get leads and get additional business, but it's actually going to start helping you attract other agents when you're making attraction calls, or if you're just having that conversation, if that's part of your business. One of the people that I want you guys to follow on Instagram and TikTok is where actually she's really blown up, is an agent in Atlanta. She's not with EXP. Her name is Glenda Baker, Baker. She does TikTok videos, and her TikTok videos are all about, you know, every client experience that she had. Okay, so it's all of her. It's her experiences, crazy stuff that's happened in her real estate transactions, all the things that she's had. So Glenda Baker on TikTok and Instagram, check her out. Any questions so far on that? Okay, so now we've got this top 300 database subscriber. I'm giving you the roadmap, right? I'm giving you the directions on what you got to do. The next important part is executing, actually doing it. So how many of you, now you don't have to raise your hand or say anything, this is just me one-on-one to you guys. How many of you have either done these actions, or if you're new, you're going to do them, and you're going to do them consistently, which means you're actually going to schedule it in your calendar, and these items are going to go out, these touches are going to be made. Even if you don't have 300 people, let's say you only have 30 people. That's still okay, because that action will allow you to scale it to maybe 300, 3,000, whatever it is. I just want to take 1 second. I want you guys to think about it. Now, if you are going to do that, just go ahead and put it yes in the chat. Let's see. Kimberly, Lizette, Viviana got 3. Tony from the Fuentes team, they're rocking and rolling. Amanda, Viviana, awesome, awesome. So here's one thing that I want to encourage you guys to do is, number one, do you know what to say? Do you have scripts, questions, and dialogues? Okay, Tony, I see him shaking his head, yes. Lizette is kind of a yes. She's a little hesitant there.
For database, yes. If it's like expires or if it's stuff that the skill set has to increase there.
Okay, but we're talking about script right now, right?
Yeah.
You know what to say. Do you know the dialogue? Do you know the questions to ask? Okay, Viviana says not yet. I like that. Okay, not yet. Number two is, do you have enough people to say it to? Do you have enough people to say it to? Kimberly says no. We're going to talk about these three tonight. Okay, Lizette Hernandez says yes. Okay, and number three, have you said it enough times? Okay, so going back, it's, do you know what to say? Script, dialogue, role play, questions, and have you said it enough? Number two is, do you have enough people to say it to? And number three, it's, have you said it enough times? So we're going to focus on that more than anything right now, because tonight I want to focus on that, because KVCORE is a tool. Think of it as your race car, but if you don't have any fuel and you don't know how to drive it, it makes no difference in having it. It could just might as well be parked in the garage, which for most people, that's what happened. It's just parked in the garage right now. It's not really useful to you, right? So we got to have the fuel. That's the number of people you need. Do you have enough people? That's the fuel you need. Do you know how to drive it? Well, those are the training and the dialogues, but then have you said enough? Have you driven around the track many, many times to understand how to use it? Okay. So here's what I'm wanting to do, because this is going to become a very, very important skill in 2023, is those three things. Number one, do you know what to say? Number two, do you have enough people to say it to? And number three, have you said it enough times? All right. So the first one, scripts, dialogues, and questions, that's the easy part, because all you really have to do is you have to have a list of scripts, dialogues, role play, whatever it is, which you can find anywhere. Now, here's what we're going to do. We're compiling a list of some of the most top scripts and questions that I have gotten from other agents, teams, other coaches in real estate. And we're actually going to go ahead and compile them into one PDF. All right. It might be about 5 or 6 pages long, but it'll tell you what the scenario is, what the question asked, what the dialogue should be. And we're going to upload them onto a website for you guys to be able to do a download free on that. Okay. So you can have what we call the master script. And what the scripts are is not, hey, you're going to take the script and you're just going to read it like a robot. It's basically what you're going to do is you're going to have these triggering questions when you're having these conversations, these quarterly calls right here to people in your database or your subscribers, or if you're making a video, same thing. Basically, they allow you to be able to have a train of thought. So what I mean by that, one of the things that I really like to use, and this came from a script, it's out of curiosity, fill in the blank. Out of curiosity, what are your real estate related plans for 2023? Out of curiosity, have you ever thought about selling your home if you could get the price you want for it? Out of curiosity, the home that you're currently in, is it too small for you guys? Have you outgrown that home? That is a question script that I've used, and I use it all the time, out of curiosity. Okay. Number two is the questions to ask. When you guys have a buyer sign call, do you have a step-by-step of what you're going to ask on that call every single time? Or is that basically like, well, when they call, I'll just kind of figure it out? You guys can interact with me, where this is interactive session.
I kind of just go with what, I typically do, but honestly, something that I've learned, I need to have scripts. I should have a script so everybody says the same script when they receive the call. Technically, it should be like that. Like my assistant takes the phone call, we should all say the same things. So, yeah,
And do you know why that's important?
because it provides the same customer experience, like
Um,
it doesn't, or maybe I'm wrong, but it's just,
Here's the reason why you want to be consistent. I'm going to share with you guys a quote that I saw. Give me 1 second. Let me pull it up. Okay. This is from one of my coaches. Your highs and lows in business performance are a clear reflection of the structure, systems, and standards that you've put in place, whether deliberate or not. Lower your standards and improve your assets. So what he's saying is your highs and lows in business performance are a clear reflection of the structure, systems, and standards that you put in place. So if you're seeing your business like this, which we all feel that from time to time, it's because we don't have the same structure or standard in place. So when you have a sign call, the first thing that happens on a sign call is what? What should you be answering?
hi, this is Lizette. How can I help you?
Is that what you normally answer?
No.
Tell me what you normally answer. We want to have practical workshop
Okay.
experience here.
Oh, hi. Good. Yeah, I'm calling about XYZ. Say, great, great. What kind of questions can I answer for you? Typically, something exactly what I say.
Okay, and what's the typical comment that they say?
No, I just wanted to get the price and get some information on it, and then I'll just start running down with the information.
Okay, now what is a sign call?
They're calling about the property.
Right, but what is it? What is it in our tonight's?
Interested in finding out information.
They're looking for information, but I'm looking for tonight's lesson. What are we talking about?
It's a lead.
Lead. It's an active lead.
Oh.
You just got an active lead. Remember, we were talking about active and dormant?
Yeah.
We got an active lead. If you put a house tour on your Instagram and somebody from your Instagram followers says, where is this house? Guess what you just have? You have an active lead. So what do we do with the lead? What's the first thing you got to do with the lead?
KVCORE.
Correct. That's the tool they're going to go. That's the depository. Go. But when you have a lead, what do I consider a lead? If you guys have been on my 3-2-1, when you have a lead, what's the important thing? I'm going to let you guys kind of self-discover here tonight.
Name, phone number, address, and email.
Bam. Wonderful. Is that Diviana?
Yes.
Yes, she's okay. That's the thing. When you get a sign call, the first thing should be, hi, thank you so much for calling. My name is Ali. I would be more than happy to answer all of your questions. Before we get started, can I have your name? I have their phone number because that's what they call it. Email, so I can send you an email follow-up on any of these questions. Perfect. And what address? Boom. Now, you may not get all of those things, but am I going to go for it? Yes, because you have nothing else to lose at that time. You have not answered any questions yet. So if you get a sign call, that is an active lead. You treat your active leads the same way. So when you're building a team, or if you're building your administrative support staff, they should have the same exact thing. You can easily put that in a Word document. This is how we answer sign calls. Okay. And once you have that, now that becomes your script or your questions that you ask, right? Get their information. We had a sign call on a property that actually had closed. First thing I got was her name. I already had her number, got her email address, and I asked her address. She didn't give me her address, but she gave me her email because she was looking for, and then I was like, out of curiosity, what other types of property are you looking for? This house is already sold. And she said, well, how much did it sell for? I said, I'll absolutely be able to put that up and tell you, but out of curiosity, do you have any other types of properties you're looking for? Yes, I'm looking for distressed properties. I'm looking for vacant land. Perfect. Are you an investor? Is that what you're calling about? Yes, we want to find distressed properties. Great. Is there a specific area you're looking? Now, I have not given her the sales price yet. Okay, remember, whoever asks the question is in control of the conversation. Whoever does the talking is dominating the conversation. You want to be able to let them dominate. You want to control the conversation, right? I just got a lead that had she called Zillow, that lead would have been sold to me as opposed to me getting it for free. Okay, now we just add that lead to our database, put them on a listing alert, do a touch, do the touch 52 on that. So are you doing that? And here's the reason why you want to have that structure. The structure is duplicatable. That means if you bring on somebody who you track to EXP and they're your downline, you can teach them this. Hey, I'm going to give you a quick resource. If you get a sign call, this is how you should answer it. When you're at an open house, this should be your opening line at an open house. And I'll share with you guys. Lizette had her hand up. Go ahead.
Oh, I just want to say quickly too, one thing that's been going really well for me, getting like just free people, names and numbers, and they're like for ton. I'm putting up all my listings on Facebook Marketplace, and you'd be surprised like how many people I get, like just asking questions. So if you guys want to build your database, that is a free way to do it through Facebook Marketplace. And you can take any listing, at least for EXP.
Yes, and I think Facebook might be cutting that off, but until they are, let's use it.
I'm milking it.
Okay, so we'd love to have maybe Lizette, you share with us on a class on how to do that.
Sure.
'Cause
Please
number
be
one-
careful.
Go ahead.
Hi.
Go ahead.
Please be careful on Facebook Marketplace because I was kicked off recently from posts. I think that they said that I discriminated or something, but I have no idea how. So after 3 attempts, 3 reviews, they kicked me off completely. So be very careful with your posts.
Sure. I
Gotcha,
put it up
gotcha.
as a listing for sale. I do the whole process as they have it.
Yes.
Gotcha. Awesome. So here's one thing I do want to share with you guys also is that's for a sign call, right? You have an active lead, get their contact information, right? Say, hey, before we get disconnected or before I get that, let me get you already got the phone number, so you don't need to ask for that. Okay. Get their name, get their email, get their address. Now you got a good lead. Great. Well, that house, I pulled it up here, that actually closed and it sold for $375,000. And then you go right into the other things about what are you looking for? What area? Curiosity. Boom, boom. And then one of the things I like to do is I like to say, is there anyone else that you know of that's also actually looking for this type of home? Because, we had multiple offers on it, but only one person can buy it, right? Because they might know somebody in the area that's selling. Now, if you have an open house, if you're doing open house or if your open house strategy, what is your opening line when somebody comes in to the open house? Anybody willing to share? Or anybody who's done open houses?
What brings you to my open house?
Okay. All right. Is that the opening line? I like that, but let's elaborate on that a little bit.
How soon you're looking to move?
Okay. Okay. But let me ask you this, if you came into my open house and I asked you how soon you're looking to move, are you feeling comfortable to answer me on that or not yet?
If it's first question, no.
Okay. So here's what I want you guys to do. First question as they come in. As soon as somebody comes in, treat them like a guest. Welcome to my open house. I'm so glad you guys are in. Okay, welcome to my open house. I'm so glad you guys are in. That should be your opening line. The second thing you should ask is, out of curiosity, there's 2 types of people that always come to my open houses. Number 1, they live in the neighborhood and they're wondering what their home might be worth. That's why they're here. Or number 2, they're out house shopping. Which one are you? With a smile. Okay, welcome to my open house. I'm so glad you guys are here. There's 2 types of people that come to my open house. Either they live in the neighborhood and they're thinking about what their house is worth, or they're out house shopping. Which one are you? So if they're out house shopping, they're buyers. But if they know, we actually live 3 houses down. We just saw your sign, just wanted to pop in and say, oh, wonderful, awesome, well, welcome, thanks so much, come on in. And now you can say, let me give you a quick highlight overview about the property. If you're doing the surveys that Maxwell uses, go ahead and say, I'd love to be able to give feedback to the sellers of the property, your neighbors. So if you do me a favor, as you're going around, please give me your opinion and fill this out so I can give this stuff. Everybody wants to be a critic. Everybody wants to give their opinion. So they will definitely do that. Okay. It also allows you to build your database there. But if that's your open house, that's the question that you have to have memorized, and you ask everybody the same exact thing as they come in. All right, because you're having that open house for you to build your database, get leads, and potentially sell the house that you're holding open. Is that correct?
Say it again.
You're holding that open house to build your database, like get leads. Second thing is to go ahead and potentially sell that house. Right? And so in order to do that, you need to be able to have the same exact thing over and over again. Make it consistent. Now, this is the one that I used in my open houses when I did it, because it was so easy. Instead of trying to be like, hi, welcome, hey, I need you to register anything. No, it was boom, boom. Let's get right off the bat. Hi, welcome. People come to my open house for one of two reasons. They either live in the neighborhood, they're curious about what their home might be worth, or they're out house shopping. Which one are you? Boom. We go straight into it. Okay. And this is actually something not that I came up with. I just copied this from another team. Okay. And this is what they use at every single one of their open houses that they do. And they used to do, I don't know what their numbers are now, but they used to do between 40 and 60 open houses a weekend across the team. Okay. Because they had a large team, and that one of their biggest lead generation strategies was open houses. And they would do 40 to 60 open houses every weekend, every single week of the year, minus maybe Christmas or Thanksgiving. And that was their lead generation tool. And it was this exact same question that every one of their agents would ask. Welcome. I'm so glad you're here. People come to our open houses for one of two reasons. Either they live in the neighborhood and they're curious about what their home might be worth, or two, they're out house shopping. Which one are you? That's it. Okay. Now I'll give you a bonus. One of the things that they did was they would ask this question while they would shake someone's hand. And when they finish with the second question, and we're going to ask, which one are you? They would tap the shoulder of the right hand. Right? So if you're shaking hands, the right hand would be here. So they would tap the shoulder. I don't know if this works or not, but they said that this was an FBI trick, that if you tap somebody while you're asking them a question, it makes them tell you the truth.
Interesting.
Yeah. And Tamika says now, so do you have them complete the registration directly into KVCORE? It depends. And here's the reason why, because sometimes I don't have internet access at an open house. So I might have to use those opinion sheets or surveys to get the information to put them in there. But if you have, you can easily do that. You can easily have the KVCORE app there, or the KVCORE module, so you can get that in there. Oftentimes, though, people are not going to share their information right away, especially if they've been to multiple open houses that weekend or those that month, and they've given their information, and they know that most agents are going to use an open house as a time to be able to get leads. The one thing that'll separate you from anybody else doing an open house is if you, at your open house or right after your open house, you reach out to everybody who came in and provided their contact information, sending them a thank you video text message, and also asking them if there's any other homes that they'd love to tour or be able to get into. Be more than happy to schedule a time to go show them. Because one of the goals that the team has, this team that does the 40 open houses, is to be able to go and have an appointment either that afternoon or the next day to show a property to anybody who was in that open house. They call it getting boots on the ground, right? Lizette said, tell them you have a free buyer guide. Absolutely. I would have on a QR code, scan the QR code, get our free buyer's guide, or top 10 mistakes to avoid when you're buying your next home, right? Find out how much you could qualify for. Boom. All those things could be resources, but the critical thing is be able to have consistency of, do you know what to say? That's the first thing. And then do you have enough people to say it to is the second one. So having enough people to say it to is you'd have to have lists, right? You have to have lists. Now, if you're in an open house, I've been to open houses where I haven't had a lot of traffic. I've had open houses where nobody showed up. But what I typically do is I'll take a list of either leads or people in your database, and I'll make it a point to reach out to them while I'm at the open house and there's nobody there, right? Other than sitting around, maybe listening to music or just basically staring out the window. That is another thing that you can do, having a list, okay? The second thing, or the last one is, do you say it enough times? And I think that's the one where most people, including myself, struggle the most, is we just don't have enough conversations or contacts. And that's one of the things that we really should focus on, especially if you are a newer agent or you haven't had the experience, because that's really going to dictate how successful you will be in your real estate business. And it sets the standard for anybody else who you're adding to your team. Even if you decide, you know what, I'm just going to be a single agent, no problem. Guess who's the team member on that team? You are. So are you actually doing the activity there? Okay, so I want to now open this up to a little bit of Q&A as well as clarification back and forth, questions to ask. I really want you guys to understand the importance of this. And then I am going to put an offer at the end there for us. If you guys want to go ahead, one of the things that we want to do as a group is have, you know, when you go to the gym, you usually have a training partner because it forces you to be more disciplined to go and train. And it allows someone to kind of give you feedback and critique you to make sure that you're getting better, right? If you want to actually get better, you have to train with people who are either better than you or are the same path as you. So we want to go ahead and do something similar to that. But I want to open it up now to any kind of Q&A that you guys have for those of you who've been on the call.